we have a mother and a daughter in the office, and Haley is off to the left. She was in a car accident. And why don't you guys tell me what symptoms that you had last night, Haley? If Mom, do you want to go over this?
Sure.
Okay.
Last night she began with her back hurting, and it moved up into her spine, and then it turned into a full-blown migraine.
Okay.
Just like that. You know, the Motrin was not taking the pain away.
Okay.
The dark, I went through everything. She was throwing up, vomiting. I woke up this morning, still the same symptoms. Tried to get her to school. She couldn't read the black and white, nothing. So I brought her here to you.
Now you're saying she couldn't read the black or white?
No, because the migraine was so bad that she would just, you know, cover her eyes. She didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it hurt.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an analysis on Haley to find out why she's having the problem, because I'm suspecting that it's coming from the upper neck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a leg check on Haley, and what we're going to do is we're going to place the camera over the feet so that we can see the discrepancy in the leg length. So now take a look at that, and do you see the discrepancy? The right leg is much shorter than the left leg. Can you see that?
Yes.
You got to go directly over the feet, like that. Does it show up? Okay.
And definitely right here from the side you can see.
Right, and then we are now going to stimulate this part of her neck right here. This is just a way for me to determine if the neck is involved in the discrepancy in leg length, and so I'm going to put a little pressure on what I suspect is happening. I suspect that the right top vertebra is rotating down, and the top left vertebra is rotating in an opposite direction, because it's a classic pattern that I'm seeing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some mild pressure here, and this should balance out the feet.
That's amazing.
So now what that does is that balances out the feet temporarily. That's not, what that did is that just stopped the neurological reflex that was occurring that was causing this short leg. So let me explain why that happens. This is a model of the skull and the top two vertebrae, and you can see the canal where the spinal cord travels through, and my fingers represent the spinal cord traveling through the foramen magnum, which is at the base of the skull, and these two vertebrae. Well, what we see a lot is we'll see that the first two vertebrae will torque in opposite directions like this, and it will create a torquing effect or an irritation to the spinal cord. Now when that happens, the irritation to the spinal cord will send inappropriate information into the muscles of the lower extremity, and it will cause them to tighten up, and it will give us the appearance of a short leg. Now, if we measured the leg, it would be the same length as the other leg in most cases. So this isn't what we call an anatomical short leg, but this is what's called a neurological reflex, which is causing these muscles to tighten up and to pull up. This is connected to the leg discrepancy. I'm going to do a muscle test on her, and I'll tell you when to resist. Push up, and that went weak completely. So now what we're going to do is, that's what we call a challenge, and if I push the bone in a direction where it's causing more nerve pressure, then it will temporarily interrupt the neurological impulse to this muscle, and the muscle will go weak. We call that a challenge. So keep your arm straight again. I'm going to challenge the other side. Push up, and that makes that side go weak too. So now what we're going to do is we are going to make a correction on this, and what we're going to do is we're going to use some very gentle technique. The bones in the neck already move, so all we're going to do is just try to move them in the proper direction. Alright? And what we want the patient to do is relax as much as possible. There's different ways to do this, but it's just a very gentle manipulation. And Haley, we want you just to relax. Did you feel that? It was very gentle. Relax again, Haley. Relax again, please. A little bit more. Muscles are tightening up. Good. So we got those two bones to move very easily without having to force it, and it was very gentle on the patient. So what we're going to do now is by correcting the rotation in the vertebra that was occurring up at the top of the neck, now we're going to videotape the feet to see if we've made that correction. So go straight down, and it's perfect. Okay, we're all done. Denise, mom, and Haley, daughter, we have now come in the next day.
Yes.
And so what we're going to do is ask them how the adjustment to the upper neck went for Haley. So, Mom, do you want to tell us your perspective?
Yes. Yesterday there was an immediate relief. Immediate. After you did the gentle adjustment to the neck, I could see myself, the realignment of her body, but she, if it wasn't for you, would have been in ER yesterday.
Okay.
And when she came in, she got immediate relief. By the time I got her home, back to herself. You know, ready to do her work, she was fine. And it was just amazing in such a simple move, and in those simple, it wasn't even a minute, that she had her back, what was it, an inch and a half, realigned.
In the leg length.
I have never seen anything like that before in my life.
And it's probably a little harder to pick up on video, too, because of the angles of the camera.
Right.
But,
right, because I could stand next to her and see the actual difference.
Right.
And it scared me.
Yeah, it's very obvious to you and me looking down at the feet. But anyway, so I'm not sure that the camera got an ideal view. But Haley, how did you, in your own words, on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as the headache and how you felt sick and miserable and everything, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst and 0 being no pain or symptoms at all, how were you when you came in?
About a 7.
About a 7, okay. And then tell me how that 7, did it go down to a 0 by any time yesterday at all?
After you popped me.
Yeah, okay, so after we adjusted your neck, then it went down to a 0.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, and it was pretty instantaneous?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's typical. So anyway, thank you for sharing this case study with other people, because most people don't really know what chiropractors do to help headaches. Okay, so right there. The difference of before and after, we're pushing up on the feet, and it's exactly corrected after the adjustment that we just made.